Hello folks, thanks for tuning in. I want to warn you right from the get-go, this is going to be a very difficult video for me to do because I got an idea up here. I just going to have a hard time articulating it, and I just want you to be patient with me. I'm going to be jumping around, but I guarantee you in the end, as I normally do, I will close it all up in a nice tight package. This video is about manufactured racism. Now, I'm no fool. A lot of you know I grew up in the inner city of the Bronx, New York. I grew up in LA in the early 70s. Bronx, New York, 1616 Walton Avenue, rough place in the Bronx. 581 Timpson Place, South Bronx. Just to let you know, I'm saying that to let you know I am aware of what's out there. I'm not talking from a naive perspective. Now, I know, especially in our past, racism did exist. But I also am a witness that throughout the years, it has gotten much, much better. And this video addresses, or questions, may I say, whether the powers who really run this world are trying to rejuvenate racism, to keep it going. They say that together we are stronger, divided we are weaker. It's actually a military tactic to divide and conquer. Like I said before, I know racism exists, but I'm going to question something here. Is the racism that exists merely a symptom? I'm not talking racism of yesteryears. I'm talking today, modern time. Is the racism, has it been rejuvenated? Has it been taught to us to behave in such a manner? I want to bring up the American Indians before Christopher Columbus. You know, that fable that we've been taught in high school. Before Christopher Columbus came over, before the settlers came over, there was many tribes of Indians. Now, in the school books, we were taught that these tribes are warring against each other. The Cherokees, the Sioux, the Apaches, the Navajos. The list of Indian tribes can go on and on and on. But I question that. And here's why I question it. And trust me, I said I was going to wrap it all up in a nice, tight package for you. Before the settlers came here, 99.9999999% of this country was just wilderness. Basically, the United States, before it was called the United States, was just one big hunting ground. Plenty of animals to roam, to hunt. Plenty of wetlands and rivers and streams. I can't see the logic why the Indians were warring against each other. There's a point while I'm bringing up the Indians. And I'll come back to the Indians in just a few moments. When two strangers walk by each other, normally they'll nod and just keep walking. You know, that's how men acknowledge each other without really knowing them, without stopping to have a conversation. We do one of these. Women, they'll just smile at the other lady. You know what I'm talking about. And they'll just keep walking. That doesn't happen very much anymore. I notice in the gym, when I go to the gym, I notice when I walk in the mall or shopping, I can see the other person looking at me, regardless of color. I can tell, because I'm an expert in body language. They want to do one of these. They want to acknowledge me and be a good person. But I see that look in their eye of suspicion. They're suspicious of me. I'm suspicious of them. There's no, every now and then I'll get one of these. This suspicion. See, I never hear racism in my circles. I never witness racism in my circles. Again, I am not naive. I grew up in the inner city. I hear more about racism from television, from the news media outlets, the propaganda machines, the late night talk shows, the propaganda machines, the sitcoms, the propaganda machine. I hear more about it from politicians, but I rarely witness it in real life. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. But now I want to address racism as an existence in modern times now. Is the racism that exists in modern times, I'm not talking about yesteryears, because I knew it really existed back then without the propaganda machine, but it's gotten better. I'm just wondering if there's a revival, a purposeful revival. Does the racism that exists nowadays, is it a systematic is it a symptom? Is it a symptom? Is it a reality brought upon by the news media outlets, by the propaganda machines all around it? Are we taught? Is it being rejuvenated in us to keep us divided? Now, I know there's racism out there, but what I'm trying to articulate and say, is it because it's taught to us that we're hating each other? Oh, man. It is a very difficult video to articulate. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. Oh, it really exists. I know it exists. But what exists now, is it because the news media outlets are teaching us to do it? Back to the Indians. The settlers came over. They wanted to conquer these lands and claim it for themselves. Quite a few Indians here. Quite a few Indians who knew how to utilize the forests and defend themselves. Again, we were taught that these Indians were warring against each other. I just don't see why. When 99.9% of this country was just wilderness, plenty of food to go around, plenty of hunting grounds, plenty of water. Why else would somebody war? Only if there was a shortage of raw goods and food. It wasn't the case back then, in my humble opinion. Was this propaganda, this divide and conquer, this war tactic brought over here to divide up the Indians to think they were hating each other? And was the symptom racism against each tribe? They warred, they killed each other. Who was ever left over? The white man came in, mopped it up. They sent some of the Indians to Christian camps to turn them into Christians or Catholics. They conquered their lands and made deals with them and put them on reservation. This is not an anti-white person or a white privilege video. This is not that kind of video. I'm trying to talk to you about war tactics, divide and conquer. Is what is going on now a divide and conquer, I guess, is the crux of this video. That is the meaning of this video. Is this divide and conquer being played upon us right now? Is my question. That black guy that's passing by me, or the brown guy that's passing by me, or the Indian, or the Muslim, or the yellow guy. Now, I'm not saying all people are good, but on a whole, I would say 99% of people are good people, want to do good by themselves, by their families, and by their in society. They just want to be good people. So I ask this question again. Those people who are walking by me, of various colors who look at me with suspicion. The white guy looks back at them with suspicion. Is this something that is bred into us now? Is this a revival of racism to keep us divided? Maybe they don't want us talking to each other, because we might find out they are allies. Allies of a different color and culture, that's it. Is that why racism is being rejuvenated? I never really hear about it in my circles. I'm not saying it doesn't exist in yours. But where I hear it most of the time is on television or in the newspapers. That's odd. That is really odd. And I don't live in some freaking Mormon Valley right now. In some goody two-shoe town. Perhaps they're using a good divide and conquer, is all I'm saying. I want to do a shout out to two YouTube channels, men of color, who are allies. And when I say allies, people who believe in freedom, people who do not appreciate socialism and communism, people who believe in hard work, work for what you want, not receive it for free. One last question I ask, or actually, one thing when I say they are using the divide and conquer, the powers who really run this world. You know, everything has a hierarchy. Your town has a government. You step outside of the town, your city has a government, people in charge. Federal government is over everybody. Everything has a hierarchy. That go to work, there's a hierarchy. Who's to say that there's not a hierarchy over this world? Some people call it the Illuminati. There's all kinds of weird freaking names. Perhaps they want to just freaking keep us all divided. It's funny how we're all divided. And I know I'm running off on the video on here. I'm doing the diarrhea of the mouth right now. But it's funny. Everybody's everybody's enemy now. Did you ever notice that last several years, last 10 years, every country hates each other. Every nationality hates each other. Everybody hates each other. Be suspicious of everybody. Two people I want to mention. People of color. Now, I appreciate it if when you go there, you check out a couple of videos. You don't have to subscribe if you don't like them. But if you do, and you leave a comment, let them know that people here at the Overtaxed Taxpayer channel appreciate what they're doing. This channel recognizes them. First one is Uber Guy. He actually drives an Uber taxi for a living. And he makes videos, conservative videos while he's driving. And guess what, folks? He's black. I want you to check out his style of speech. Totally different. Talks like an inner city guy, but guess what? He thinks like we do. And he shouldn't be judged by how he talks or the color of the skin or his dreadlocks. Check him out, Uber Guy. Another one is the Conservative Mexican. Now, you all probably heard of him. He's got a good growing YouTube channel. Yeah, I also heard that he's running for political office, or I apologize, is thinking about running for political office. He has a totally different style of speaking and getting his point across than the Uber Guy. But we're different, but we're all saying the same damn thing is what I'm trying to say here. This guy is walking by me in the mall or whatnot, looking at me with suspicion, wondering if he can do the nod. He might not realize it, but we're allies here. We're not enemies. Anyway, I'm running off at the mouth here, and it's like I said, it was a very difficult video to articulate it. And I don't think on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the just describing what I wanted to describe. I think I did a 6. I know a lot of what I'm saying is going to be totally misunderstood. I know there's racism out there, but I'm wondering if it's just now a symptom of what we're being taught to do, taught to behave from the people who are trying to keep us divided. I knew it existed in the past without the propaganda. I knew it was for real back then. I'm not taking any way, shape, or form away from that. I'm not trying to discredit that. What I'm trying to do is address today in modern times. Is it being purposely kept alive? A divide and conquer. Anyway, folks, again, I meant no disrespect to anybody. I just wish we all could maybe think about it for a while. I mean, I'm saying trust everybody. I'm not saying that. Because there's a lot of freaking people out there that are crazy, psychopaths, thieves, true racists. Again, I question whether racism was taught to them by the propaganda machine. But nonetheless, they're still in existence now. And we need to be careful from these people. I understand that. I'm not talking out of a naive, irresponsible mouth here. Anyway, take care. I appreciate if you like this video, if you found any merit, give me a thumbs up. I really, of all my videos, would wish you to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. If I'm even barking off, if I'm totally in left field, and I'm an idiot, I understand why you might think that. Go check out those 2 channels, Uber Guy, Conservative Mexican. Take care. Thank you for watching.